Drew of the Shed, I wanted to point out, you were right, sir. The saber-toothed log pooper in the woods, or at least one of them, was a bobcat. I never would have suspected. I never would have suspected that it was a bobcat. What or what? As revealed on my trail camera images, I've showed you some of those. I don't want to. This is going to be a single take and upload kind of video, so I don't want to track one down right now. But go back a few videos, you can see some trail camera images of a bobcat if that's your thing. Yeah, he's a big old bobcat. Also, a lot of raccoons out there. I'm giving the trail my. Okay, so here's the thing. For Christmas, I gave my mom a trail camera, right? And so she could take pictures of her deer and whatever else she's got up there, and then she let me borrow it. So I kind of gave myself a trail camera. So today is Easter. Happy Easter to y'all if that's your thing. And my mom is coming over, and I got to give the trail cam back. So that's why this is on my mind. So yeah, bobcat, raccoons, possums, deer, a lot of deer, some crows, notably absent, coyotes, bears, pterodactyls. I don't know why these three things, which I feel like are very common in the woods around here, are not on my trail cam, but they're not. I really am surprised about the bears. I was hoping to see a bear by now. I have not seen bear tracks, bear scat, or pictures of the bear on the trail cam, and that is not for lack of trying. I'm not saying that I purposely tried to attract bears to get pictures of them. But then I wouldn't say that because that would be a terrible idea and something I wouldn't want to admit on the internet. Good morning. Welcome back to the Defiant Pipes Community Garden and Massage Parlor. Today I'm making a pipe video. And I'm smoking, decided I'd go all out, call in the big guns. I'm smoking my General. And in it, I'm smoking some Stray Dog, which is my my mix of like all the little leftover parts of blends that I don't want to smoke in and of themselves. I just threw it all in a jar. And this week, I gave the entire jar away to various people, and got rid of another jar on my desk. Just have too much miscellaneous tobacco. And I like having lots of tobacco, but I want it well organized, and I don't want it to take up a footprint on my desk. So I had these two big jars, and I emptied them out. I haven't been making a lot of videos lately because I have been grumpy as hell. You guys just don't want to see. I tried to make some videos, and I actually even uploaded a couple, but then I didn't make them public because I watched them again, and I was like, it's just me complaining for 8 minutes or whatever. Nobody wants to see that. So I'm feeling a little bit more chipper this morning. Drinking my coffee here. And working on a Gribbly's Folly video. That coffee was hot. All right, working on a Gribbly's Folly video. May or may not turn out to be anything. I'm hoping to bring the Minecraft videos to a close here pretty soon. Because man, I am when you're actually like playing the game, you don't realize how much time you're spending on it, but when you're recording it, you start to realize it. And that's been a very educational thing doing that little series. I wanted to revisit a video I made a few weeks back called Mindfulness Sucks. And I think some folks didn't quite get that I was being sarcastic, which is fine. My humor is pretty dry. So, I understand. The thing about the General is it's so tall, you almost have to use matches when you get down to the last third of the bowl. Lighter just don't cut it. So, was behind me there for a second. I, since the battle rattle thing came to an end, I have realized that what I really need to work on is mindfulness, which is a word that I hate because what does that even mean? What does that even mean? And for me, what I've discovered is it means being aware of what you're doing. I can't really define it because when are you like not aware of what you're doing? Like I'm not like dead drunk every day or anything. But there's also this place that you can go that I think of as the anti-mindfulness. It's like the total opposite. It's where I don't want to be. And that place is, oh, I remember I need to send a message to my friend. So I'm going to open up Facebook to use Facebook Messenger. Half an hour later, I'm watching fail videos on YouTube. I can't even remember why I sat down at my computer. That place where you're just led by external forces away from your intention, that is not where I want to be. And I spend so much of my life in that place. And even, you guys know I love to talk about my crazy out of control brain. I don't need social media to lead me astray. I just have a regular old spinning thoughts in my brain that will lead me astray. And so I've been, you go to your therapist and you're like, oh, I'm all stressed out. I'm feeling anxious. I can't stop my brain from spinning. And they're like, have you tried meditation? Or you go to your therapist and you're like, hey, I'm cheating on my wife with a hooker behind the gas station. Have you tried meditation? Oh, I think I'm going to murder my boss. Have you tried meditation? Like, is that the only word you people know? Really? I'm so tired of that. Mindfulness and meditation. I don't want to hear about it. I have been reading this book called The Wise Heart that my therapist gave me. You notice nobody ever writes a book called The Wise Liver about alcoholism or The Wise Kidneys about, diabetes or something like that. Like that, nobody ever does that. The Wise Femur Bone about long distance runners. I don't know. But we like to give the organ of the heart more credit than is due. Anyway, yeah, I can't even get through this book. Like I can't. It's about Buddhist psychology, and hey, if you're a Buddhist, then great, I guess. I mean, well, it's true that I don't think Buddhists really like. They're not. No, we're just not even gonna venture into that because I'm smarter than PewDiePie. So yeah, I got to the part where it talks about there is no self, that the self is an illusion, doesn't really exist. And I'm like, well, then who the fuck is reading this book, man? Like, it's a self-help book, right? Like, you're telling your market for the book that they don't exist. Which I guess means that you can just kind of make up your market. You can market it to whoever you want. If you're not limited to people that actually exist, you can sell your book to some imaginary class of people, like, I don't know, first world whiteys that have all they need and like to think about spirituality sort of as a hobby rather than a necessity. Yeah, those people don't really exist. So anyway, I can't read this book. I can't do it anymore. But nonetheless, there is obviously some value toward not being so caught up in whatever that is. I don't like to put these labels. Language limits thought process. Language limits thought process because look, I've read a third of a book on Buddhism, and so now I'm an expert, and I can see the parallels between Buddhism and Christianity and crazy neo-pagan, witch cults. And they're right there. It's like it's all basically the same stuff, but then there's these concepts and these languages that people add to it. I don't know about add to it, but interpret from it. that leads us all astray. Like the core stuff is pretty much the same. Sorry, I'm hearing voices. Okay. Core stuff, pretty much all the same. And then you add the concept like anatta of the Buddhism self-illusion thing, or you add Calvinism, or you add whatever, the concept of jihad as an external. So basically what I'm saying is, I think that stuff, that external stuff, is basically mankind overanalyzing the message. And that's what I don't want to do, and that's why I don't want to get into that's why I don't want to say, oh, I'm practicing mindfulness, is because that's just something people say to make themselves sound better than you. And I don't. Excuse me. I know there are people out there in the YTPC. I know you guys out there. Some of you practice mindfulness, and I'm not accusing you of that. In my town, where I live, mindfulness is very much in vogue as a status symbol, and I don't want to be one of those people. And also, again, what does that word really mean? So we have a language failure to deal with. So it's Easter, and in my socio-cultural, ethnic background, Easter is a big day for us. And I hope if Easter is a big day for you, you guys are having a good one. And I hope we are all mindful and we all meditate on the underlying messages of the day, and not the plastic grass candy bullshit. Although I like some candy, man. Let me tell you, Easter candy. Here's how I knew. Here's how I knew. Going back to the whole battle rattle thing. Here's one of the ways I knew. This was 3 years ago. 4 years ago now. I have a special guitar that I really enjoy, and I sold it. And then several years later, I realized that I just really missed this guitar, and I tracked it down and bought it back from like two buyers removed. Tracked it down and bought it back, and it was on its way to me. And it was around Easter, and the tracking number said it had been delivered, and I got home, and it had not been delivered. And I was so upset that I ate like just an incredible amount of Easter candy. I just totally stress ate like 2 big handfuls of chocolate, And that was my first clue that maybe I'm wrestling with a mental thing in the battle rattle sphere of things, that maybe my problems aren't physical. That was my first clue. Here it is 4 years later, and I still haven't gotten a handle on it, but I think I am starting to realize it. It's been a very strange video, y'all. Well, I'm not gonna edit this. I'm not gonna redo it. I got to get this out there because I feel like I haven't been part of the community for a while because I've just been so wrapped up in stuff. So, thank you for watching and hearing me talk about whatever the hell I talked about this video. And keep the ends out for the ties that bind. I'm gonna relight my my general here. Keep enjoying the smoke. Y'all take it easy.